Hello, everybody. How is everybody tonight? My name is Trombka.
And I'm Bolinger.
And we are the directors of the best Christmas pageant ever. And we have, And tonight we have one question for all of you. Have you ever been excluded?
This was the question that Jake and I pondered as we read the show.
About how characters like Mrs. Armstrong encourage people to include everyone in the pageant. Well, everyone but the herdmans.
And if we're being honest with ourselves, there's a herdman in our lives. A person who, no matter what the circumstances, we cannot ever envision ourselves being civil with them.
The problem is, sometimes we need a herdman to help us see old stories in a new light.
This was the vision James and I channeled into the show.
Playing with spacing, costumes, and even lighting, we present to you two polarized worlds and the bridge that is in between.
Where if the church folks would just give the herdmans a chance, they may just be in for the best Christmas pageant ever.
Before we begin, a few quick announcements for everyone. As the show is being set in the roughly early 2000s, we ask that everyone please put away your cell phones, since those words is prevalent then, turn them off, slip them in your pockets, otherwise a rowdy herdman might come along and steal it from you.
Speaking of technology, due to the rights of the show, we must also ask that no photography or videotaping take place. Please take pictures with your hearts and with your minds.
There will be a 15-minute intermission also taking place where you're able to go out, buy concessions, and also get tickets for a raffle. I believe we're raffling off an applesauce cake, so you can get those tickets there.
You may see some of our fellow cast members convincing you to go for that award-winning cake if it doesn't burn up first.
Speaking of cast members, after the show and after the drawing, you are more than welcome to meet all of our wonderful cast out in the rotunda. Just go down the hallway into the round area, and you are encouraged to take pictures with that.
This time with an actual camera and not just your heart. Be sure to move to the back of the rotunda, otherwise you may get stampeded by our angel choir.
A special thank you to our production team, wonderful cast, parents who volunteered their time to help with so many things, our sponsors, including the Tallmadge Foundation, for all their wonderful support, and of course our audience members, you, for being here with us tonight and joining us. And now, without further ado, welcome to the best Christmas pageant ever.
Kids in the whole history of the world. They lied and stole and smoked cigars, even the girls. And they talked dirty and cussed their teachers and took the name of the Lord in vain and set fire to Fred Shoemaker's old broken down tool house.
And that's not all. Somebody set 5 dozen donuts to the firemen and the hermits ate them all. And what they couldn't eat, they stuffed in their pockets and dumped in front of their shirts.
And they wrote this really dirty word on the back of Naomi Waddell's favorite turtle. So now, Naomi can't bring it to the YMCA pet show. Her mom won't let her.
What was the word? Oh.
And that's not all. They did it with fluorescent paint, so when you can't see the turtle, you can still see the word.
And they put tadpoles in the school drinking fountain, and Mrs. Barnes swallowed 2 or 3 by mistake. Somebody yelled, "Mildred, stop! You're drinking tadpoles!" But it was too late.
Did she get sick?
Not right away.
And that's not all. There were 6 of them. Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and Gladys. And they went through the Woodrow Wilson School like those South American fish that strip your bones clean. And they went around town the same way, stealing things and tearing things up, so it's hard to get away from them. There's only one safe place!
The sweet hour of prayer, because there are no herdmans there. But Jesus loves us, as they say, because he keeps them miles away.
That's my little brother, Charlie. And that's what he said when the Sunday school teacher asked him, what was his favorite thing about church? Charlie said, no herdmans. That made the teacher mad. Because all of the other kids said nice things about God and Jesus and good feelings. But old Charlie told the real truth. No herdmans.
I don't care what everybody else said. That's what they really thought. All that other stuff is okay. But the main good thing about church is that the herdmans aren't there. Ever.
That is not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
Well, it's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman at school.
Is he the worst one, Leroy?
They're all the worst one.
Ralph's the biggest, so if Ralph gets you.
That doesn't make any difference. Gladys isn't big, but she's fast, and she's mean, and she bites.
Okay, I'm sorry that I asked. Stay away from all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from them. Go to church.
So glad to hear you feel that way.
Why?
No arguments about the Christmas pageant this year.
I don't want to be a shepherd again.
So tell Mrs. Armstrong you want to be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
Everyone is in it. Think about how I would feel sitting there on Christmas Eve and my own children not in the pageant. Think about how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible. Wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, I actually wasn't gonna go.
Wait, what?
Well, you know how crowded it gets. I was just gonna stay home, put on my bathrobe, and relax. There is never anything different about the Christmas pageant.
There's going to be something different this year.
What?
Charlie is going to wear your bathrobe.
You just made that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elmer Hawkins will pay you $1 to be Joseph. Elmer's sick of being Joseph all the time, just because his father's a minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
What are you gonna be this year, Beth?
I'm always the angel choir.
Well then, why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
From what I've heard in the past, that is not a serious drawback. Away in the manger always sounds to me like a closet full of mice.
What do you wear in the angel choir?
Bed sheets.
Oh boy, some choice. A bathrobe or a bed sheet. Come on, let's go watch TV.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong just works really hard to make sure that you all have a lovely experience.
Oh, Mom, you know Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things.
They're right, you know. She's in charge of the potluck supper. She directs the Christmas pageant. She's chairman of the bazaar. I think Helen Armstrong would preach a sermon if anyone would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes?
Well, maybe she could manage the hospital, because that's where she's at. I ran into George at the drugstore. He said his wife broke her leg this morning. She'll be in traction for 2 weeks and laid up until the 1st of the year.
The 1st of the year? They'll have to cancel Christmas!
She's in charge of Christmas?
Well, she's in charge of this pageant and the bazaar. I mean, I feel sorry for Helen, but who's gonna run those things?
Yes, I'll take over the bazaar if you'll do the potluck supper. But Edna, I don't know what in the world we're going to do about the pageant unless... How about Grace?
I just can't, Edna. I have company all Christmas week. What about Grace?
What about Grace? Hello, Grace?
Bob?
What?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Does that mean I have to go?
Four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It was always the same old Christmas story, the same old carols, and the same old Mary and Joseph. That's what Mother was stuck with. That and Mrs. Armstrong.
I tell you again, Grace, how important it is that you give everyone a chance. Me, I always start with Mary. And I tell them we must choose our Mary very carefully because, well, after all, she is the mother of Jesus.
Yes, I know that, Helen.
Yes, yes. And then I tell them how Joseph was chosen by God to be Jesus' father. That's pretty much all I ever say about Joseph because, well, he's always Elmer Hopkins, and Elmer knows everything there is to know about Mary and Joseph.
I thought Mrs. Armstrong was in traction. How can she talk on the phone if she's in traction?
What do you think traction is?
Like when they put you to sleep?
No such luck. Beth, can you grab some salt and pepper and napkins, please?
But I do tell them about the shepherds and the wise men and how important they are. And I do tell them that there is no such thing as a small part, only small actors. Oh, and the angel choir. Remind them not to look out into the audience. And don't let them wear earrings and things like that. And don't let them wear clunky shoes or high heels. I hope you don't have too many baby angels in your choir because they are your biggest problem.
You will leave some for the rest of us, won't you, Charlie?
I'm hungry. Leroy Herdman stole my lunch again.
How can you let him do that to you day after day?
How can I stop him? Where's the chicken?
Grace, where's the chicken?
It's still in the oven.
I'll get it.
You're going to have to get someone to push the baby angels onto the stage, otherwise they get all bunched up and they crunch up their wings. Well, wait, Bob could do that, and he could keep an eye on the shepherds. Oh, and another thing about the angel choir, don't let them wear lipstick.
Helen, I have to go. There's someone at my door.
They think because it's a play, they have to wear lipstick and it looks awful.
Helen, someone at my door. I'll talk to you later. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Hey, lady, can you give me something to eat? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days.
For heaven's sakes, it's just you.
Well, I got lonely at the table.
Well, I think Helen Armstrong is lonely at the hospital.
Not as long as the telephones are working.
I'll bet she told you about no small parts, only small actors.
And getting someone to push the baby angels on and make the shepherd shut up.
Yes, she suggested your father.
That mean I have to go?
Another thing, Grace, make sure that you don't just get anybody's baby to play the baby Jesus. Get a quiet one. In fact, get two. Ow. That way, if one gets fussy, you can always switch them out.
My mother didn't pay much attention to Mrs. Armstrong. She said Mrs. Armstrong was stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think about problems. And there weren't going to be any problems. Of course, my mother recounted Herdman's. That was Charlie's fault.
Hey, Leroy, you give me back my lunch.
Sure, here.
You stole my dessert again.
How do you know?
Because it isn't here.
What was it?
2 Twinkies.
That's right, that's what it was.
Hey, Leroy, you think it's so great to steal my dessert every day? And you know what? I don't care if you steal my dessert. I'll even give you my dessert. I get all the dessert I want in Sunday school.
Oh yeah, what kind?
All kinds. Chocolate cake and candy bars and cookies and Twinkies and Big Wheels. We get refreshments all the time, all we want.
You're a liar.
And ice cream and donuts and cupcakes and...
Who gives it to you?
The minister.
Why, is he crazy?
No, I think he's rich.
Sunday school, huh? That was the wrong thing to tell the Herdmans. And sure enough, the very next Sunday, there they were, in Sunday school, just in time to hear about the Christmas pageant. What's a pageant? pageant?
It's a play.
Like on TV? What's it about?
It's about Jesus.
Everything here is.
And it's about Mary. Mostly it's about Mary.
Who's Mary?
I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part.
Come on, Beth. Charlie. And Davy, come. Now, this won't take very long if you all just settle down, please. So today we're going to decide who will play the main parts in our Christmas pageant. But of course, everyone will have an important part to play. You know what Mrs. Armstrong always tells you. There are no small actors, only small parts. Isn't that what she always says?
That's what she always says, but she never says what it means.
Don't you know what it means?
I know what it means. It means that the short kids have to be in the front row of the angel choir, or else nobody can see them.
Well, not exactly. It just means that the littlest baby angel's just as important as Mary.
I don't think anyone is as important as Mary.
Well, naturally, that's what you think, Alice. I think Jesus is more important.
I still think it means the short kids have to be in the front row.
It's Jesus! It's Jesus! He died for us!
Girls, everyone is important. Mary, Jesus, and the short kids. Now, is everyone here? Beverly, will you just step out in the hall and see if anyone else is coming?
Hi, Beverly!
Now, you little ones will be in our angel choir, so remind your parents that you're going to need bed sheets. And people in the choir are also going to need bed sheets. And if you have any old bathrobes at home, now what's the matter? Oh, well, make some room for the Herdmans. Where's Beverly?
I think she went home. I think she got sick.
Did she say she was sick?
She just left. All I did was, I just said, hi, Beverly, and she just left.
I see. Well, will somebody please tell Beverly about the rehearsal schedule? The next 4 Wednesdays after school, plan to be at every one.
What if we get sick?
You won't get sick. And of course, Mary and Joseph must absolutely be at every rehearsal.
What if they get sick?
They won't get sick either, Elmer.
Well, Beverly got sick and we didn't even start yet.
We don't know that Beverly got sick. Now, I want you all to think about Mary. We all know what kind of person Mary was. She was gentle and quiet and kind. So the girl who plays Mary should try to be that kind of person as well. Now, who would like to volunteer for that part? Did you have a question, Imogene?
No, I'm be Mary. And Ralph over here, he wants to be Joseph.
Yeah, right.
Oh. Well, I'll just make a list here of people volunteering, and then we'll decide who it should be. Ralph Herdman. Just write that down. Now, who else would like to volunteer to be our Joseph? Anyone? Please? Any volunteers? Just raise your hands. Any shepherds? Very well. Ralph Herdman will be our Joseph. And Imogene has volunteered to be our Mary. What other names can I add add to my list. Janet, Roberta, Alice, don't you want to be married?
No, I don't want to.
I'll be married.
Sure, Gladys, I'm already married. Be a wise man.
Well, the wise men are usually boys. Of course, they don't have to be, and we could always...
I'll be a wise man.
Me too. Oh, you want to be a wise man? Raise your hand.
What's a wise man?
Just raise your hand.
What's that to be?
Some angel.
I'll be that.
What is it?
It's the angel of the Lord who visits the shepherds in the field and tells them that Jesus is born. Oh, look, we do have some volunteers after all. Hope, would you like to be a shepherd?
No, I just wanted to say I can't be a shepherd because we're going to Philadelphia.
Why didn't you say so before?
I just remembered my mother doesn't want me to be a shepherd.
Why not?
I don't know. She just said, don't be a shepherd.
I'm not going to be a shepherd.
Oh, yes, you are. What is the matter with all of you?
I don't want to be a shepherd. Gladys Herdman hits too hard.
Gladys isn't going to hit anybody. She just visits the shepherds in the field to tell them that Jesus is born.
And hits them.
Elmer, that's ridiculous, and I don't want to hear another word about it from anyone. Now, no shepherds may quit or get sick. That's all for today. You may go. But I plan to see everyone here Wednesday at 6:30. Alice, what is the matter with you? Why in the world didn't you raise your hand?
I don't know.
You don't know? Alice, I expected you to
Bradley, get Gladys off of me.
volunteer. Don't you want to be married?
Mrs. Bradley! Oh, come on, Alice. I don't know.
I didn't dare raise my hand. Imogen would have killed me. She said, I'm going to be married in this Christmas pageant, and if you open your mouth or raise your hand, you'll wish you didn't. And I said, but I'm always married in the Christmas pageant. And she said, go ahead then. And next spring, when the pussy willows grow, I'll stick a pussy willow so far down your ear that nobody can reach it. It'll sprout there and grow and grow. And you'll spend the rest of your life with a pussy willow bush growing out of your ear.
You know she wouldn't do that.
She would too. Her lips would do anything. Just watch. She'll do something horrible and ruin this whole pageant, and it's all your mother's fault.
Hello, Jane. Did you hear about... Well, it must be Grace's fault somehow. How else would the 6 of them end up in a Christmas pageant when they ought to be in jail? Vera, Irma Slocum, I just heard that Imogene Herdman is going to play Mary in the pageant. Is that a fact? All 6 of them? Oh, Vera, I live next door to that outfit, and I'd rather live by the zoo. Has Grace gone crazy?
Where did they come from?
Who let them in?
Imogene Herdman as Mary, the mother of Jesus? What kind of child is that? Where? Where was the Reverend Hopkins, I'd like to know? He was what? Visiting shut-ins? Well, I'm a shut-in and he wasn't visiting me.
Well, then I said, why don't you let them hand out programs at the door? Grace says, well, we have programs at the Christmas pageant. I said, well, this year we should.
Oh, I feel so responsible. Had I been up and about, none of this would have happened.
I've been up and about. None of this would have happened. Well, let me tell you.
Don't tell me, I'm on your side. The car's over there.
Helen Armstrong is not the only woman in the world who can direct a Christmas pageant. I made up my mind to do the best that I could under the circumstances, and now I'm going to make it the best Christmas pageant that we have ever had. And I'm going to do it with the Herdmans. After all, they're the only ones who raise their hands to volunteer, and I don't care.
Good for you, Grace. The car's over there.
And you're going to help me.
Does that mean?
You have to go.
to be a disaster.
Yeah, I can't believe that's the Birdman's job.
Oh, the big girls.
The inn is over here, off stage, and the shepherds just gather around the manger.
Where don't the shepherds come from anyway? What's an inn?
It's like a motel where people go to spend the night.
What people? Jesus?
Oh, honestly, Jesus wasn't even born yet. Mary and Joseph went there
Why?
To pay their taxes.
At a motel.
Shut up, Ollie. Everybody shut up. I want to hear her. Go sit down. Begin at the beginning.
The beginning.
The beginning of the play. What happens first?
Imogene, this is the Christmas story from the Bible. Haven't you ever heard the Christmas story from the Bible? Well, I guess I better read it to you.
Yes, let's go.
I don't believe that. Do you? That they've never heard of the Christmas story?
Why not? They don't even know what the Bible is, and they've never been to church their whole life until your dumb brother told them we got refreshments. Now we have to waste all this time for nothing.
All right now. There went out a decree that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went out from Galilee with Mary, his wife, being great with child.
Pregnant? She was pregnant?
All right, we all know that Mary was pregnant. And it came to pass
I don't think it's
while
very
they were
nice
there
to say that Mary
the
was
days were
pregnant.
accomplished
Well,
that she should be
She
delivered.
was.
I don't think your
And she
mother
brought
should say that
her
Mary's pregnant.
firstborn son.
It's better to say great with
And
child.
wrapped him in
I'm not
swaddling
supposed to talk about
clothes
people being
and
pregnant,
laid him
especially in
a
church.
manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
My God, they didn't have room for Jesus?
Well, nobody knew that the baby was going to be Jesus.
Didn't Mary know? Didn't he know? What was the matter with Joseph? That he didn't tell them her pregnant and everything. What's a manger? Some kind of bed?
Well, there wasn't a bed in the barn, so Mary had to use what there was. What would you do if you had a new baby and no bed to put the baby in?
Oh, we put Gladys in your drawer.
Well, there you go. You didn't have a bed, so you used something else.
Oh, we had a bed. Only Ollie was still in it. She didn't like Gladys. Remember how you didn't like Gladys?
That was pretty smart, Ollie. Not to like Gladys right off the bat.
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What were the wadded up clothes?
The what?
It said in there, she wrapped him in wadded up clothes.
Swaddling clothes. People used to wrap babies up in big pieces of material very tightly so they felt all cozy.
You mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box? Where was the child welfare?
The child welfare is at our house every 5 minutes.
There wasn't any child welfare in Bethlehem.
I'll say there wasn't.
And there were shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of...
Shazam!
What?
Out of the black night with the horrible vengeance, the mighty Marvo!
Gladys, I have no idea what you're talking about.
The mighty Marvo? In the Amazing Comics? Out of the black night with the horrible vengeance!
Gladys, this is the angel of the Lord who visits the shepherds in the field.
Out of nowhere, right? In the black night, right?
Well, in a way...
Shazam!
Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east bearing gifts of gold and frankincense
What's that?
and myrrh.
What's that?
Well, they were special things like spices and precious oils.
Oil? What kind of a present is that? We get better gifts from the welfare.
What are the welfare? The wise men?
Well, they were kings and they were
It's
sent.
about time somebody important showed up. If they're kings, they can get the baby out of the barn and tell the innkeeper where to get off.
Well, they were sent by Herod, who, well, he was the main king, and he wanted them to find baby Jesus and have them put to death.
Who's here?
God, he just got born. They want to kill a baby?
Who's here in this play?
Herod isn't in this play.
He's out to kill the baby and isn't even in the play.
Oh, somebody better be Herod. Let Charlie be Herod. He'll say, go get me that baby. And they say, okay, because he's a king and all.
But then they don't do it. They go and they get Herod.
I'm not going to be Herod.
No one is going to be Herod.
No, Joseph gets the shepherds, they go wipe out Herod.
They're going to put one in, and it's going to be me, and I'll get killed.
Forget about Herod. There is no Herod.
And I won't be the baby till the fight's over.
Somebody ought to take care of the innkeeper. Gladys, you take care of the innkeeper.
I can't. I'm an angel.
Then I'd throw somebody out. I'd say, I've got this baby and it's the middle of winter. So either get out or move over.
I'd go after all Herod.
I sent an angel after him. She could just point her launch a thing and turn into a pile of ashes. Yeah, Zach. What's the name of this play? She never said. Christmas Pageant. That's no name. That's what it is. I know a name. I know a name. I call it Revenge at Bethlehem. That's such a good name. The best name ever. It's the best name ever.
Revenge at Bethlehem? The Herdmans thought the Christmas story came right out of the FBI's files. At least pick out the right villain. It was Herod they wanted to gang up on, not the baby Jesus. But the baby Jesus quit the pageant anyway. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum, but Mrs. Slocum said she wasn't going to let Imogene Herman get her hands on it. So we didn't have a baby Jesus, and that bothered my mother, so she kept trying to scratch up a baby, even at the last rehearsal. What'd you keep writing that book?
It's like a diary.
It is not. It's all about the Herdmans. Imogene curses and swears all the time. Ralph talks about sexy things. Mrs. Bradley called Mary pregnant. Gladys Herman drinks communion wine. It isn't wine, it's grape juice.
I don't care what it is, she drinks it. I've seen her 4 times with her mouth all purple. And they steal too. If you shake the birthday bank, it doesn't make a sound because they stole all the pennies out of it. And every time you go in the ladies' room, Imogene Herman is sitting there in the Mary costume smoking cigars.
And you wrote all of this down. What for?
For my mother and Reverend Hopkins and the Ladies' Aid Society and anybody else who wants to know what happened when this whole Christmas pageant turns out to be a big mess.
All right, everyone, let's get started. Beth and Alice, can you join us on stage, please? So today's going to be our last rehearsal, and so we're going to go over the... Yes.
Just wanted to let you know we're all back in the kitchen making applesauce cake, and we'll try not to disturb you. This is your dress rehearsal, isn't it?
Well, it's supposed to be. Oh, Edna, didn't I hear that your niece had a baby a month or so ago? A little girl?
Yes, she's 5 weeks old and absolutely gorgeous.
Well, I was wondering how it would be if I were to call your niece and ask her if I could borrow...
Grace, no. Now, I could lie and I could say she's sick or cranky or something. But the truth is she's perfectly healthy, happy, and beautiful. And we all want to keep her that way. So we're certainly not going to hand her over to Imogene Herman. Sorry, Grace.
You can have my brother for Jesus.
Oh, I didn't know you had a new baby, Davy.
He's not new. He's 4 years old, but he's double jointed and he could probably scrunch up.
Well, I don't think that...
Oh, that's a new baby.
How can you do that?
There's 2 or 3 babies in carriages. There's always 2 or 3 babies in carriages outside the supermarket. I'll just grab one of them.
Imogene, you can't just walk off with somebody's baby. Forget about the baby, we'll just use the doll.
Yeah, it's better anyway. The doll can't bite you.
Imogene, you know that Mary didn't wear earrings.
I have to wear these. I just got my ears pierced and when I don't keep something in them, they'll grow together.
They're not going to grow together in an hour and a half. What did your doctor tell you?
What doctor?
Who pierced your ears?
Gladys.
She probably did it with an ice pick. I'll bet Imogene's ears turn black and fall off.
We'll just use something smaller. Is that what you're wearing? Is that your costume? You're all supposed to be in your costumes today. What What is happening?
I can't find my halo.
And my wings got open. And Janet's got my robe.
My mother doesn't have any white sheets. Can I wear a sheet with balloons on it?
And I don't have a costume. I've never been a shepherd before.
You have to wear your father's bathrobe. That's what I have to do.
He doesn't have a bathrobe.
Then what does he hang around the house in?
His underwear?
Okay, just pretend you're wearing your costumes.
Are we going through the whole thing?
Yes, of course. But first we're going to practice just the entrances, so everyone go where you're supposed to be. Go. Just read the last few words, Maxine.
Shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night.
Music! Shepherds!
And an angel of the Lord appeared to them.
No! Gladys.
As the Black Knight.
No. Go on, Maxine.
A multitude of the heavenly host.
Music! Angels!
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
The music. Wise men.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. What is wrong with you guys? Did anyone learn their music?
What music?
I got a baby here. Don't touch an infant of Jesus.
No. No. You don't say.
We'll give it back.
You don't say anything. You just paint a lovely picture for us to look at while we sit and think about Christmas and what it means. Now put the doll back.
I don't get to say anything. Some angel told someone to call the baby. I would have named him Bill.
What a terrible thing to say.
What angel was that? There's angels all over the place. Was that Gladys?
It was the angel of the Lord who visited the shepherds in the field.
Yeah! Unto you a child is born.
Unto me. I'm the one who had the baby.
No, that just means unto all of us a child is born. Jesus belongs to all of us.
Why didn't they let Mary name her own baby? What did the angel do? Just walk up and say, name him Jesus?
Yes.
I know what the angel said. She said, his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
My God, he never got out of first grade if he had write all that.
Miss Bradley, what should I do? Should I start over?
5 minutes, Maxine.
Oh gosh.
5 minutes!
We never did start over. And we never did go through the whole thing. 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes. And Imogene Herdman spent the whole time smoking cigars in the ladies' room. Then Mrs. McCarthy went into the ladies' room and saw all of the smoke and called the fire department, and they came right away.
Fire! There's a fire!
They drug a fire hose throughout the church looking for a fire to put out, but the only one they found was in the kitchen. All the applesauce cake burnt up. Of course, all the ladies were mad. And my mother was mad. And Mrs. McCarthy was mad.
Why in the world did you call the fire department over a little smoke?
It was a lot of smoke. The ladies' room was full of thick smoke.
It couldn't have been. You just got excited. And now look, the church is full of firemen, the street is full of baby angels crying, and shepherds climbing all over the fire truck, and half of the neighborhood... Didn't you know it was cigar smoke?
No, I didn't know it was cigar smoke. I don't expect to find cigar smoke in the ladies' room at the church.
Alice Wendell-Kitt's mother was mad, and the whole Ladies' Aid Society was mad. And Reverend Hawkins said he didn't know what to think.
I can't make anything of it. Some say to set fire to the ladies' room, others say to set fire to the kitchen. And Beryl Wendikin says only talk about is sex and underwear.
That was Hope Clark talking about underwear. And they didn't set fire to anything. The only thing that caught fire was the applesauce cake in the kitchen, where it all burned up.
Well, the whole church is in an uproar. I don't know. Jesus said to suffer the children that come unto him. But I don't think he was talking about the herdmans. Grace, don't you think we should cancel the pageant?
I'll bet that was Helen Armstrong's idea.
Well, we can blame it on the fire. Makes for a perfect excuse.
And I'll bet that was Edna McCarthy's idea.
Look, everyone's saying this is going to be, I don't know how to put it,
A disaster? Well, they're wrong. This is going to be the best Christmas pageant that we have ever had.
Grace, I don't think anyone's come to the pageant.
I didn't think so either, and neither did Charlie. But we were wrong. On Christmas Eve, the church was jammed full. Everybody came to see what the herdmans would do.
Just wait until I turn on the lights. And watch your step.
I can't even see where I'm going. What in the world are you going to do with this thing?
Well, I thought that it might look like a palm tree. I see now that it doesn't. Oh, I have no idea what is going to happen tonight. We've never once gone through the whole thing. And the herdmans, they still think that this is some kind of spy story. This might be the only Christmas pageant in history where Joseph gets in fight with a wise man and Mary, well, she might just run off with the baby. Where are the kids?
Every kid in the world is in the basement putting on bed sheets.
No, I mean our kids.
We're here!
What is going on? Why don't you have your costumes on? It's getting late.
It's just gonna be awful, you know. They look like trick or treat, all fastened together with safety pins, with their moldy old sneakers. Mary and Joseph, they look like refugees.
Well, that's what they were, Mary and Joseph. They were refugees in a way. They were a long way from home, didn't have anything to eat, didn't know anybody, and they were probably cold, hungry, tired, and messy.
I don't know about cold and hungry, but they are sure messy. You're it.
Hey!
Oh, dear, do you think I should?
I think you're worrying too much. Now, I'm gonna push the baby angels on stage, gonna hand out the shepherd's crooks and push them on stage. When do I do all of that?
Just follow the script.
Okay. All right. Baby angels, shepherds, wise men. Huh. I don't see anything in here about when the fire engines come in.
Robert?
I am just kidding. It's going to be great.
Mrs. Brown.
The baby angels don't know what babies are. This is actually like a problem. What are we supposed to do?
Okay. Is everyone here? Can you all go on stage, please? Beth and Alice, I need you down front so you can help with the baby angels. Now I just need to look at all of you. Gladys, where's your halo?
Our cat, there he is. Oh, and listen, I think I ought to say something besides the baby came. Why don't they all get up and tear that small baby they don't even know? I ought to tell them it's Jesus, and I ought to tell them where he is.
No, you say, unto you a child is born, and that is all you say. Now, please be quiet while you're going backstage as people are coming in, and good luck.
Mrs. Bradley, actors don't say good luck. Actors say break a leg.
Yes, I know that, Alice, but in this case, I think, for those of you who do not know, it is a theatrical saying. It does not mean break a leg, yours or anyone else's. And Imogene, please try and remember that that's a baby. And for tonight anyway, that's the baby Jesus.
In the days of Caesar Augustus, a decree went out that all should be taxed. And Joseph went into Bethlehem with Mary, his wife, who was great with child. While they were there, she brought forth her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
Birth the baby Jesus as if he had colic or something.
Well, he could have colic just like any other baby.
I don't care, it looks awful, and so do they.
So what? They just come a long way, and now they don't have a place to sleep, and then they have a newborn baby to worry about.
Who, Ralph and Imogene?
No, Mary and Joseph. And in that region there were shepherds in the fields, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them. The glory of the Lord shone round about, and they were sore afraid when the angel of the Lord appeared to them.
Hey, hey! Unto you a child is born. It's Jesus. He's in the barn. Go see him.
And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host, saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men. The herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies, with angelic hosts proclaim,
priests to worship him, bringing gifts of frankincense, gold, and myrrh.
They look awful too. And what's that Leroy's got?
It's a ham.
A ham? I'll bet they stole it.
No, I think it's from their welfare basket.
You mean it's their own ham? Then they must hate ham.
Even if they hate ham, Alice, it's the only thing they ever gave away in their whole life.
Being warned in a dream that they should not return to their own countries, the wise men departed separate ways, praising God for all that they had seen and heard. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round about mother and child, holy and so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Beth, look. Mary's crying. Mrs. Bradley, Mary's crying.
Could you believe that that was Imogene Herdman and the rest of them? This is the best Christmas pageant we've ever had, and I don't know why, but I think it was them. Could it be?
I'm sorry, I always get a little weepy at these. I don't know if it's the costumes or the carols or what, but you're right. This was the best, and it should have been the worst.
Oh, there's just something different.
Well, the angel of the Lord sure was different.
Oh, yes, but you know, I like that. Had lots of spirit. Sometimes you can't even hear the angel of the Lord. You know, I must find Grace and tell her.
You know, I wish I would have let her use Eugene to be the baby Jesus.
Well, who was the baby Jesus?
It was a doll.
Oh, no, Irma, that was no doll.
Well, it did seem real.
It did seem real, as if it might have happened just that way. We all knew the pageant was about Jesus, but that was only part of it. It was about a new baby, and his mother and father were in a whole lot of trouble. No money, no place to go, no doctor, nobody they knew. Then arriving from the east, some rich friends, like Michael from New Jersey. Because of the Herdmans, it was a whole new story. Imogene burping the baby, and the wise men bring to a sensible gift. After all, they couldn't eat frankincense. And even Gladys, he's in the barn, go see him, so the shepherds didn't have to stumble around all over the countryside. But I guess it wasn't like that for Imogene. For her, the pageant turned out to be all wonder and mystery, as if she had just caught on to what Christmas was all about. When it was all over, we had a party in the basement. The Herdmans didn't stay. And they didn't have any cocoa, and they didn't walk off with all the cookies. They wouldn't even take their candy canes.
Well, that's about it. Any kids left downstairs?
No, they're all gone. You do know you're wearing your bathrobe. You're not actually going to wear that, are you?
Well, why not? Maybe someone will think I was a shepherd. I wouldn't mind being a shepherd in this Christmas pageant.
Yes, you would. When it was over, some lady came up and hugged me because I was a shepherd. Should I bring this ham?
It's the Herdman's ham. But Leroy said it's a gift, and you don't give back a gift.
Leroy said that? They must hate ham.
You and Alice Wendlekin?
What about the lights?
Oh, they're on a timer. They'll go off at midnight.
It's not far away. It's almost Christmas.
It's almost Christmas, kids.
Almost Christmas, Charlie.